Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 8. And this upcoming week we have episode 7 of Season 8 hitting our screens, which looks, for the main part of the episode at the very least, it'll be just like a bottle episode set within the CCPD with Barry and some of the other, CCPD staff in quote-unquote lockdown, which of course is the title of the episode as well, after a villain takes it over. Now this villain is that of Goldface. Yes, our favorite daddy, if you want to put it. Now, there could be some story elements that matter overall for the season outside of this main story within this episode, with a character like Iris, for example, because the stinger at the end of last episode revolved around her and her time sickness that's been going on when we saw that hairbrush disappear into, well, not thin air, into like green dusty particles and then, well, nothingness. So of course, that's a wait and see. I'm just expecting this episode to be one that the writers' room had a bit of fun with. But then again, I thought that would be the case with episode 6 last week as well. But that meant more than I originally thought, for the larger picture of the show. So we'll just have to see, wait and see what comes our way. But moving on past last week's and also this week's upcoming episode, we have a lot more episodes coming our way over the next couple of months for Season 8, one of which we'll be focusing on in today's video as we got our first teaser for it over the past couple of days. However, one thing I want to bring up in relation to what yesterday's video most likely was, is that in that video I mentioned The Flash possibly getting more episodes than the 18 episodes that were originally announced, just due to something that was, some certain things that Eric Wallace had described in regards to the layout of certain episodes later this season. But yeah, after I posted that video, a few of you messaged me on Instagram or Twitter. By the way, there's links for those in the description down below, by the way, if you want to go check them out. And you brought up a video from Danielle Panabaker where she mentioned they had 15 episodes left to air this season, this coming just before the release of episode 6. So at that point, 5 episodes had aired, 15 to go after that. That equals 20 episodes. Welcome to math. Now, this hasn't been confirmed anywhere else, but this does connect to that weird layout that Eric Wallace described and gave for episodes later this season. So yeah, it looks like maybe we are going from 18 episodes up to 20 episodes this season. Obviously, that's not concrete, that's not cemented. We're just going off, a couple of different things said by a couple of different people, but it might be doing that. And just also, I've noticed throughout this video, there's a bird chirping. Australian wildlife is very noisy, so sorry if you can hear it in the video. But let's move on to the main point in this video. And of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we go over, because I'm sure you might have some different theories and thoughts and just opinions. And obviously I'm always curious to read what you guys are saying. And of course, you're going to enjoy the video, just want to show you support, and you're looking forward to any of the stuff that we go over in this video, want to drop a like on it, on the video to show all that. So yeah, we recently got the first promo material for episode 9 of the season, otherwise entitled Phantoms, and it appears that this could be the start of the next graphic novel for this season, though it does appear to connect to the previous episode as well. So maybe that is the first episode in the new graphic novel? I don't know. But anyway, we'll discuss that in more detail once we read this synopsis or description out and talk about it in more depth. So yeah, here is a synopsis or description for episode 9 of this season, aka Phantoms. Barry and Team Flash get closer to figuring out the fire matter, but no closer to finding him. Meanwhile, Iris, needing a distraction, follows a story to Coast City. So the first thing I actually do want to mention is actually the writer for this episode. It's not Eric Wallace, it's not me, it's not, Jesus Christ himself. It's actually Jeff Hirsch. Now, you might be like, oh, what the hell is Jeff Hirsch? I'm just bringing this up because Jeff Hirsch has a track record of sort of writing the first episodes in storylines on the show, like not throughout, not since season 1, but recently, or maybe he like co-writes them, or he does the teleplay. He's just sort of involved with them, or instead of storylines, I guess we now call them graphic novels. So I don't know if that's a sign that this is the first episode in this graphic novel, or he's just writing this episode. I'm not too sure, but I just thought I'd bring up that he has sort of like a track record of writing the initial episodes in a storyline or graphic novel. But yeah, we have 2 things going on in this synopsis. There's some stuff with Barry, which is the main stuff, and then there's some stuff with Iris. And the Iris stuff, I think, actually connects to something we already heard about this season and something that was coming our way. So we will get to that eventually, but we will start with the Barry-focused stuff, which, as I said earlier, could be carrying on from the previous episode the week before. So of course, as we start off in the synopsis, we have Barry along with the rest of Team Flash. They're getting closer to figuring out this fire matter that is out and about and causing some issues, but they aren't getting closer to actually finding him. Now, in regards to what it means by figuring out, I don't know if this means, in regards to knowing who it is or just figuring out what their intentions are and their motives and everything like that. It's sort of unclear based off the synopsis. Now, one character that was confirmed to return to this season a while back was that of the Hotness, aka Jacob Birch, aka Give Me My Money from season 4's Run RS Run episode. And we actually brought him up recently in another video, which was the video in which we went over the episode 8 synopsis, the episode before this one. And when we went over it, Jacob Birch came up because that episode 8 synopsis talks about this murder investigation in which there is a suspect that has overwhelming evidence against him, but Barry believes the suspect didn't do what he is being accused of and that he's innocent and there's someone else out there that did these crimes. And based off this next synopsis for episode 9, which we just read out, it looks like this story will continue. This fire meta that Barry and Team Flash are still on the hunt for is potentially who actually committed this murder. Now you might be like, okay, well, who is this fire meta then? Well, another character that we know is coming back this season from, for a multi-episode stint is that of Ronnie Raymond. Now, of course, I don't think it was ever confirmed that he specifically would be Firestorm again if he showed up. However, we know he is coming back, and his first appearance, I think, from memory, is meant to be in either episode 10 or 11 of this season. So this is the episode 9 synopsis. So it wouldn't be too surprising, I guess, if all this is in like the build up and lead up into that episode where, Ronnie returns. Now, we of course know that Eddie Thawne is supposed to be back as well, and we don't really have a real idea as to when he is showing up based off anything released in interviews or news pieces. However, if this is the period that they are building up to Ronnie's return in, then it sort of makes sense that potentially Eddie plays into this as well, whether it's actually in this episode or the episode before or the episodes that follow on. Now, in regards to the fire meta specifically, does it mean that Ronnie is the one killing people? No, but maybe there's just, something that comes about where Ronnie gets involved, whether he is brought back to life or anything like that, and just has Team Flash sort of second guessing certain things. Obviously, they haven't revealed too much. Even the synopsis we went over just then for this episode is actually pretty brief. They actually aren't describing too much. And usually when there's a short synopsis, they're trying to keep as much stuff spoiler free. So yeah, they're not really giving us much to work with. But with Ronnie and also Eddie, does the villain for this season or this graphic novel, might I say, do they bring Ronnie and Eddie back as well as maybe others as well? Because Eric Wallace did reveal in an interview, actually multiple interviews, but just interviews in general, that the middle villain for this season, or the villain of the middle graphic novel, is not a speedster. And that was showcased in one of the interviews that we went over the past couple of days. So does this mean that the villain is like magical based or something like that? Or are they using like mental powers or something to make people think that certain people are alive? It's unclear, but when they're not a speedster, it can mean multiple things. It could mean another meta power, like I said, with magic stuff, or it could be like a meta, like telepathic, telekinetic sort of thing. Or it could obviously just be like general technology. It could be like a DeVoe sort of situation or anything like that, where there's like high-tech technology and that's making certain things happen. Maybe even time travel. We don't know specifically what's going on, but I can't wait to find out. But one thing that needs to be mentioned, and it's just flat out straight in front of us with this episode, and that's actually the episode title of Phantoms, because obviously a phantom is just another word for a ghost. So is meant to be like ghosts of the past coming back in? Is this maybe the first episode that Eddie shows up in? Are they sort of tricking us? And maybe this is the first episode that Ronnie shows up in as well, or maybe some other people from the past that were led to, that we as the audience, and also I guess, Barry and Team Flash were led to believe we're dead. It's a high possibility with that title, but also phantoms can mean something that you were like imagining to yourself as well. Like it's a phantom of your imagination. So, or like it's a construct of your imagination. So that could be the struggle that Barry and other people on the show are dealing with. Are these people actually showing up again? Are they actually there? Are they being reborn or whatever it is? Or is it just something that their mind is making up? And this could sort of mess with people emotionally and just all over because they think they're going crazy. And that could be exactly what the villain wants. So this could be a very psychedelic, confusing, and, personally, if you watch Stargirl in the season that went past, I had no idea what was real and what was fake. And that show did a really good job of making us second guess everything that was happening. And I wonder if The Flash is doing something similar as well this season. But with that title of Phantoms, it also seems it could be connecting to something else. And that's Tinya Wazo, who is otherwise known as Phantom Girl in the comics. And of course, she is meant to be connected to Iris, when she appears on the show. So she was cast a while ago, that came out, but obviously this episode filmed a while ago because we had this massive break from the end of Armageddon to, where we've just picked up now with episode 6 and, beyond. So it feels like, it is a while ago when they filmed that episode. So it just feels like a while ago that casting news came out. But I would assume it's like the whole Phantom thing could be like a double meaning, like whatever's going on the Barry main storyline and also what's going on with Iris, because she's dealing with Tinya Wazo, aka Phantom Girl, and that's probably why Iris goes to Coast City. Now, is Iris's time sickness why she needs a distraction? Because it says, Iris needs a distraction, so she goes to Coast City. Or is this maybe because of what's happening back in Central City? Is this because maybe like Eddie is like randomly back and it's messing with her? Or is it maybe even her mother? Is she seeing her mother? Is she seeing all these different people that she thought was dead that are now randomly back in her life or something like that? That's what I'm saying. Like, this could really be mentally screwing up our favorite characters on the show and just the characters on the show in the general, whether you're not the biggest fan of them or not. It gets me sort of excited in a really messed up way, just because it's something different. Even though we've seen sort of like little examples of it, never to this degree, I don't think you've seen it. So I can't wait to see what they do if this is just roughly what they actually are going to be doing on the show. In regards to Tinya Wazo, I don't know necessarily how big of a thing she's going to be on the show. They could do something interesting with her. It could just be a filler thing. I don't want to say filler thing, but just a thing that Iris is doing throughout this episode. Once again, it's wait and find out. We don't really know too much about the character and how she's going to be used on the show. That's a wait and see, but yeah. I'm interested to see what they do. But yeah, guys, that's all to go over in this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know. Does anyone sort of want to see Team Flash get messed up mentally by all this potential ghost and like imaginary stuff potentially, if that's what's going on? I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on everything we went over in this video. I'm always curious to read what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.